Hey guys, how you doing? I know I'm usually sitting in a forest when I have these meditative kind of thoughts, but um, I was out running this morning in the forest, and I often listen to audiobooks. Usually I listen to audiobooks, not music. And I've been listening to Robert Drysdale's book, Opening the Closed Guard. And in it he asked his young daughter, like, why she likes jiu-jitsu. And it he pondered the idea, like, why do we like jiu-jitsu so much? Like, what is it about it that fascinates us? And yeah, there's health benefits and self-defense benefits and all those things, um, which, arguably you can get in, many martial arts, I'm sure, if you were to spend enough time doing them and be proficient enough in them. But I think specifically jiu-jitsu, as to why it's so alluring and addictive for some people, is the fact that there's no end to it. Yeah, and I think that for a lot of us, especially as adults, is that so much of our life, we know how to drive a car, we know how to go to work, you probably know your career inside and out, your partner's pretty well, everything's pretty predictable, and like, so you're kind of looking for something, and sometimes people end up drinking a lot or doing a lot of drugs or whatever it happens to be. And I think that, like, for the people that find jiu-jitsu and really, like, enjoy it, like, go, wow, this is really cool. And especially I think the older guys that start it, it's really nice and refreshing to have something that you're not very good at, because you tend to be pretty accomplished at everything else because you've survived 40 or 50 years on earth, right? So I think it's just having something, again, that excites that part of your brain, because, if you enjoy learning and you like being challenged, like, it's more a mental game than it is a physical one. Your body has to, learn how to do the movements, but ultimately it's your brain that's telling your body what to do and doing all the decision making. And so it's kind of rare in sports and in martial arts that these two things exist at the same time in just the right percentage, without being too violent that you go into, like, fight or flight and go all spazzy, and it's not like real mellow like Tai Chi or something, which is awesome if you're into that, but, like, it's not physical enough for me. It's not stimulating enough for me. And so, yeah, I was just thinking about that all day. It was kind of pondering. I was teaching class this morning, and it was bouncing around in my head, like, what is it about it that I like so much? Like, it's been, I don't know, since '97, so whatever that is. And yeah, so I think it's that. I think it's the enjoyment of always feeling like a white belt, always feeling like a beginner. I was talking today with some of the guys about the gap between, like Master Pedro Sauer, who's our coach, and his high grade black belts, and then us as, like, mid grade black belts. Then, like, the gap of experience and knowledge is so great. It's just mind boggling. It's absolutely mind boggling. That when I'm teaching my white belts or blue belts stuff, and they look at me, I show them something, and their brain just goes, wow, that's so insane. Like, that's amazing that you know that, right? it's or they feel really stupid for not having seen something very obvious, right? That's more kind of, but that's funny, right? You find it humorous the answer was right in front of you, and you couldn't figure it out, and it was a really simple solution. Like, that kind of thinking is really exciting, and I find it really, really interesting. And so I think it's just a very interesting martial art that nobody can master. Like, the red belts are constantly, like, refining and learning new things, and everybody is evolving and changing. Even if you teach, very traditional Gracie Jiu Jitsu like I do, then, like, for me, the fascination comes from the depths of the techniques, not adding more techniques to it. Like when I roll, I maybe use 20, 30 techniques all the time, but I'm refining them and refining them and refining them over time. And so I don't need to have a very complicated jiu-jitsu system, because I've dug very deeply, although still not enough, into basic techniques. And most of my life is teaching white to blue belts, white to blue belts, white to blue belts, And so you should really master that. And as Dana has said the other day in a post, if you can master white to blue, like, you can win world titles with that stuff. Like, it's 85% or 90% of your jiu-jitsu, even as a high-level jiu-jitsu competitor. It's the basics and the fundamentals are so important. And so I get to go over them all day, every day, right? And then occasionally, like, duck off into, like, some high-level stuff, But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. It's the fact that it has no end, that it's not too violent, it's kind of requires assertiveness, but, you don't need to be aggressive to be good at it. Yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts. Bye.